是用几笔的话去当寂寞，不曾了解高声中，是用几笔的话说着的，找梦到了，嫁给人。
nhớ rằng thọ tọt giải bé ít trong nhiệt gì cứ tin nên trả lời là công bé HKM TV nhớ trong mình nó thank you for joining us thao linh đạo nó chơi của cô xã introduce bé cho guest nhớ trong mình nó giờ lần đầu bé sĩ thạ bé cho nó này bé cho staff spouse là sĩ cho họ lừa còn mong cho wives and so first of all nè cứ sử sinh tuổi thọ to the left here and then nè cứ sử dụng lăng hơi right in the middle and then nè sử răng câu cha. And then to my right here, niamtsev. So thank you, ladies, for joining us tonight. So bé khó focus nhớ trong mình bé cho viên giáo bé tu là nhau cái nó bé xã làm một sự thật cho hai đứa. Thảo vật chữ bé là ở những cái gì bé là vật chữ để know how bé ở nhà tu niệm nó giờ làm một sao bé tu gì là how do we support bé tu husband and so. That's the focus of my be la mashita. But I just want to tell be min ji ha de be bo wa ju za lu nya to ho Genesis 2 ma wa ju za lu thao nu ji Adam ta ma ne yin hai do nu bo to ha de Adam is so lonely ya ma ya lin da ne de it is not good for the man to be alone and so ne hai zun ji ma de I will make a helper suitable to him and so long the kon da wa ju yi bo jang tian meng ha de Bay or you have the wife that will be able to support and help our husband. So yelling the nitichi bay landa to bay to see, and that's the focus of Mono Bay Lamushita. So ladies, my first question for you is what you who bay law what you they know some of you guys are 4 years and going in 5 years or 5 years at the Hmong District. And here 6 months, maybe has been here. They just got married, and so can you share being at the district being married to how does that help you grow in your spiritual growth and in your ministry?
I think that it helped me, it helped me grow spiritually in the sense that I am not in control, everything is happening according to plan. And so I just trust in that your protect and also help him in his ministry, empowering him, and anything accomplished through zone that that's up to God. So it's not where I can plan or do anything. I'm just more of in the background, supporting and that helps me in the sense that I'm letting go of control, but just giving it to all God and trusting in God in every area.
I think for myself, because I have a baby and then I am a stay-at-home mama now, I think spiritually it has really, being here has really challenged me to really, really put my trust in the Lord, relying on one income. So sometimes, y'all, truth be told, we're like, oh no, we're almost hitting the negative, but God always come through. And so I think it's me relearning to re-trust God, and then just being able to just kind of serve in the background, Minji, and I think being here has really, really challenged me to extrovert. It really challenges me to be an extrovert, and and so the blessing in that is that I get to know people, and then I get to build relationship, and then I can always text them and say, hey, I need prayers. And so I know that I have more prayer warriors out there outside of my circle of friends, and so that's one of the spiritual blessing, and one of the things that I've learned serving at the Hmong District with my husband, just to see God bless me in ways that I have never imagined.
Yeah, early na je yên chỉ tàu xa hay thế chỉ có xíอยู่là họ lên học báo cáo mong要đó họ yên chẳng chỉ tàu chẳng mà chuyện đấy nhiều họ cầu xong xí na and thâu cụ tự xin nơi cái ta nơi đại master tại Crown College nơi gì trong cáiว่าchỉ cái lịch khai lúc họ trâu ấy cho nên là trong đại học báo cáo mong em trâu cụ nơi gì thằng tới nơi gì cụ yên learn to really trust what you hay tiếng what you cho một họ tư lời cụ yêu môn nữa and sau sẽ lo trâu giảว่าwhat you put trâu you in front of you nữa giả là trong đại học báo cáo mong em xin gọi đi ước chỉ bảo lên từ này giả ước họ thu chi chế trong đại học báo cáo mong nếu cứ vậy họ trâu có cụ tao challenge cụ tụi khen to get to know other people giả hai tiếng cụ phân cầu từ cụ lúc hồi này sẽ chỉ cụ chỉ bảo được tôi nữa and so nếu cứ ở đó cụ reach out trâu được tôi lần đó yêu thả lo yên đó lại thả trong sẽ lo nếu build friendship trong lời tôi and so cô agree yeah liên sư phước sinh tôi hay nếu họ ít họ blessing or và chỉ cho lời tôi là cho họ yêu luôn này nữa and you get to know people and cô yên họ ít tôi extrovert thế đấy tất nhiên mà thầu là nhớ là học báo cáo muốn là gì yêu tao go beyond the how are you normally you know
yeah thank you còn em nhận sao
I feel like I'm so new to it, but I feel like just being married and being in this role for just a couple of months, I've definitely grown in just learning to pray more. I think just being more faithful to praying for my husband and his ministry, and then knowing that whenever he's working or he's traveling, sometimes it's tough for me to feel like, you know, I'm just by myself because it's just me in the house, but just learning to depend on God, you know, learning that no matter what, even if my husband is there with me or not, I'm here to support him, and I need to be a good foundation for him and pray for him so that he can do God's work, and you know, like God is able to use him, and so that I have a good foundation here and he doesn't have to worry about me, and I'm also able to support him even if I can't be there physically with him when he's doing his work. So
I think that's a great start, because when Thagwin Zo in your start na basically that's what I was doing, and you know, trying to be a good foundation. You know, it doesn't matter. You know, there are like finance difficulties, you know, hardship. Because back then, you know, we had 3 kids and we were living an income of $700 a month, you know, and you know, you try never to complain, or you never want to say anything that would discourage from doing God's work, because you know, you don't want to be a hindrance to your ministry. So yeah, I think learning to be a foundation and learning to be strong for your husband, so that it's also something that we have to learn. And I think that you have to be very strong in that area, or strong and be certain of yourself. You know, I think that maybe people might see as a weakness, but for me, I think that you have to have a strong personality and be certain of yourself to be able to do that, with not, you know, relying on Qhia or clinging on to him, to be that foundation, like you said, for him. So I think that's a good start.
Yeah, đây họ cũng bảo tao thì thầu là nhớ là họ bảo có mong cũng thầu vào chuyện hành đó cũng khỏi thầu vào chuyện hành đó cũng mà bảo hay thì ở lên là trong đại học bảo có mong chỉ bảo lên từ thế này vậy thì chúng tôi yêu chia đó họ ministry, and so you need what you call guidance hay hành đi, and so li giảng gấu lò nó chỉ yêu thầu vào chuyện bảo rồi thà li thầu tư nữa ấy thấy đây nữa là chỉ là những thầu vào chuyện trả lô phaiมื่อ annual conference loยัง constantly ทว่าจุดตรงในตาลีจะขอเตียนในจารุไฟได้ๆนะเทียจารุ track ล้อลินได้นะย and ยศ annual conference ในยนเทียอีป้าทีมเราป้าเราเนื้อหมู่ว่าในแต่ได้ดูดา annual conference เรายังทว่าจุดตาลีกับว่าจุดป้ากับว่าจุดฮูกับว่าจุดย่ออีกย่อตีหนึ่งเราป้าเราเนื้อว่าแต่ได้ดูแต่ก็โมกับเต้าเซอร์ลินแต่นั่นเราเนาะจะเขาเจนนั่นเรายังทว่าจุดตาลีเราป้าเราใช้เราก็อยู่เจนจุดซ้อมมอมกินนะยอเทียก็แต่มีตัวมีหยอดเราhọก็น้องรู้ที่น่าเอยูตุดสีเนื้อว่าจะได้หนูเราในที่ได้ชิ้นยุ่งเชีย
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. So that leads into the next topic. ยกุศลกับเป้เราไม่ใช่ถ่ายยอเป้บอกต่อเดี๋ยวเป้ยาตัว wife มา you need to you ยาตัวยาต่อการใช้อยู่ตุดสีอ่ะ so Pay your Jew, long the pay to king, whether it is in your ministry or in your spiritual walk, you to see, and some of the things that you guys have mentioned about praying for him, or just trying to help yourself when he's not there with you. You it's how you to see. So that leads to the next thing. Now, how do you in return support your husband in the home, in your home setting? Because sometimes but let's first talk about how do you support your husband in the home first.
Yeah, cho cô na je cô support cô tự si by submit trong nữ mlong nữ lùi ạ, cho họ cô giờ ít thu bọn nhẹ và yên chỉ cho mlong lùi vậy chứ, chỉ giờ hai đứa chỉ mlong lùi đó xí mà cho họ cô lo lon tới ilu xí hậu và bé cho bọn nhẹ mà nữ nhon nhon nữ tự si hình, je cô giờ ít thu sai bỏ lên đó je cô bỏ hai đứa dân gọi li tụ bọn nhẹ tới dân gọi li giờ tụ khế xí nè,那je cô chỉ sao cô trong linh đó nữa, nên chỉ thầu cô vừa giảng cáo nó là cô carry con đó cô, and thầu ư tư lần trước mà chỉ là nó là những chuyện nhỏ đó cô, et rồi có tư cỡว่าchỉ sao lưu anh nhất hồi sau nữa tư hai tỷ có bây giờ bao nhiêu bây giờ tụ vai bây giờ chúng ta submit rồi bây giờ tụ gì này ạ,แต่chỉ mà côยังchẳng chỉ truly fully submit trong được họ authority until thầu ấy yêu tư lo theoว่าchữ tưยังlo hay đôi dùng đàn tàu giàu có yêu chúng ta submit trong được họ authority nữa, and thầu đó cô thấy đi mà đi surrender đóว่าchữ thế mà đi submit thì tia đó của tụi chị này ya, cũng chẳng hay tiaว่าcủa tụi chị yaว่าchữ tụi mỗi đó của, người tự nhiên ít thu bảoว่าchữ nữa, người tự nhiên ít thu chắcว่าchữ, người tự nhiên tráiว่าchữ nữa, giờ bị đi cha của họ chẳng chỉ cả submit đó của tụi chị nữa họ authority ya, so họว่าcủa submit đó của tụi chị đó, ở trong nữa cá share thế ở trong nữa chơi nữa, và giờ ít tụi chị đó họ chơi nên nữa, nữa một day thì một tàu day là giờ cũng giờ ít thu ở bên này cũng lâu nữa luôn thế cũng chơi nữa theo liền một tàu day thế lựa tụ theo liền respect tàu nữa đó khỏi thế cũng chơi nữa chỉ cũng respect nữa chỉ lựa tụ theo respect thế cũng giống nhau là theo liền bỏ tàu hoàn toàn theo liền respect là gì?
I think for myself, because I have 4 kids, 17, 15 and a half, 9 and 2 and a half. It's really cooking for them, making sure they're fed. And I say that because my husband comes home every day from work and he always go, Googie, did you eat? And sometimes he'll say, oh, and sometimes he'll say, no. And when he says no, he's like, why didn't you eat? And then I noticed that changed. I'm like, why? Wait, well, you were home all day with mom. Did mom not feed you? And so over the years, I've learned that like him asking my children if they ate, and if they say yes, it gives him a sense of peace because he knows that, okay, my kids are not hungry, or my kids, they bathed, homework now they're just relaxing. And so I think for me, supporting him in the home, I think my biggest role is to make sure that my kids are okay, because when they're okay, it allows him to truly go out there and serve with peace of mind, because it's messy and my children aren't put together and they're hungry and starving and crying. He can't focus, so he can't serve. Sometimes I tell him, like Takubemu out of town or places, and I'm like, hey, how can I help you? Let me help you. And he always says, no, your only job is to make sure the kids eat. But I don't want that job because I do it at home already. But then I realized that, okay, like that gives him a sense of peace. Like Bimo in your conference, he's so busy. And so for me, in the season that we're in, I think how my way of supporting my husband in the home is that I have to make sure the kids are okay. And like, even though I know that I have to be submissive, and if anything, I have to make sure there's rice. So he can, sometimes he could be like, hey, you guys want fried rice, or something. So I always have to make sure that there's something on the stove or something in the fridge that we can heat up quickly to eat. So that's how I support him in the home. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like one of the big things for us now is just like learning to be married, but then also just like taking care of those things, like you said, so that when my husband comes home, he's not worried about like what's for dinner, or like having to clean things or do different chores. And I feel like for me right now, since it's just the two of us, like one of the big ways that I try to support him is investing my job, you know, to continue to grow myself. And so that's financially we can support each other, because I feel like a lot of my work and my finances help us to just have a good foundation right now, so that we're not too stressed about, you know, what's next and what are we saving for, what are we spending. So I feel like that just is another way for like me to just kind of help him like have peace about going out and about and doing the work that he needs to do too. So yeah.
Yeah, basically for me, you know, I mean, when my kids were young, you know, that's what we did. Homework, me having dinner, because I do work full time too. So that's my way of contributing to the finance of the family, supporting him. So then just saw no shots of finance in the home. But I also am responsible for keeping the clean house, you know, making sure that peaceful and not so messy. All of that already. When he's home, dinner is ready and ready to go at 5:30. Kids are fed, ready for homework, and then go to bed. So dinner is always prepared the night before. And like I said, because I do worked full time, so so you know, time management was one thing that I have to master, you know, when my kids were little. But you know, as we are here, my role in the home again is just to make sure that is a welcoming home. You know, it's not messy. It's a peaceful environment for him. You know, is there for him, and also just being a companion, a friend. If he need a long time, you know, given that space that he needs, you know, if he needs someone to be there, you know, be there for him, and just be there for him. You know, sometimes, you know, so mine is, you know, I guess. A time right now is just to not to say so much, you know, not to say a lot, because you know, he carries a lot of responsibility. And yang tu work, work, you know, he doesn't need me to voice that to him, you know, that got idea whatever. But just to, you know, be there for him. You know, if he asks for my opinion, I give it. If he doesn't ask my opinion, I just stay back, because again, like I said, work, so he doesn't need me, the wife, to say, you know, you need to do this, you need to do that, but just to be there for him when he needs. So I don't know if that makes sense to you guys at all, but you know, yes, it does. Yeah, that's where I am, and the home.
So when you guys do things in the home to support your husband, do you feel like it's a burden, or do you feel like it's something that that's how you support your husband in that way? Because a lot of people feel it's a burden. Yeah, it's like, why can't he do that? Why does it have to be me all the time? You know, and so what do you guys think of that?
I feel like it's my role. There was a time when I did feel like, you know, it felt like a burden, but it's never really been a burden, because that's all I can do for him, you know. Again, going back to what I said, you know, you carry a lot of weight on your shoulder, and I don't want to add any more weight to my husband. I want him to, I want my home to be where he can come home and be himself, you know, where he doesn't have to be someone else, you know, perfect. He can get upset, he can you show his emotions, you know. I want that home to be that place for him. So it's never been a burden for me to take care of my husband. I want to take care of him, you know, because I want him to feel that there is someone that will take care of me. So it's never been a burden for me.
Yeah, cho cô hỏi submit cho cô tụt xí nhớ tọt chế còn nơi thế này các xí còn đó vậy họ thầu của submit cho nơi gì lúc chế này nhưng more peaceful cho họ nơi chỉ mua họ và yêu phăng chạy nữa này ạ. And so cô bỏ hai tiệc còn đó nơi chỉ họ ít họ burn còn đó nơi ít họ cô yêu chiều tao và cô lót thế nào ấy cô become more like how God want me to be na. which is to be his helper. Gucci, I'm not there to compete with him. I'm there to help him. And so, call all in the Nigeria choice of good make to help new and the niamtsev say to high, making sure that lúc vào lúc trẻ có mua giống mua món nó, ấy thằng nữ lo này ya, nữ ít khó joy or cứ biểu hạt địa nữ ít khó or you as a mom, as a wife, you tao wanna, and cứ chỉ bỏ hạt địa nữ không bận tới mà cứ giống share hình, hạt địa cứ tao cook, thằng thứ là yo lo trẻ mà, cứ họ lựa thanh thọ xứ mà cứ lo cook cho lại đó họ cứ yên sa địa, cứ yo ở đây chỉ cho lại nó, cứ sa cái lo cho ấy giống mỏ tới sọ nữa, ấy cho lại lo cho lại chơi lo nó mỏ xứ nữa. And nếu ít khó cụ bỏ tao thì nhất thầu all đó là nó mà trong cái là trong xe cái ô tô của as ít thứ bao nhiêu là ít lần nè ô tô của trong xe thầu cụ bỏ hai tiền là trong xe trong một tiền là cho là chơi tao nó là do vắt chế là cái đu lu ấy chỉ siêu lên đó là cho là bao nhiêu nó ấy chỉ nhau xe nè.
And like you said, I like what you said. It's a choice. You got a choice na you choose to do it. It's not like a burden. It's not like it's my role. And sometimes a lot of time, basically, we see that it's our role. And yes, it is our role. This means when it comes down to it, you pick a choice. It's our choice. We make that choice to serve it, to take care of him in that way. It's a choice that we make. Not being forced.
I wouldn't necessarily use the term burden, but it can get frustrating because I feel like there's one of me and there's 5 of them. And like, go bang to no tante to how next to the next, and then you feel like you get pulled all over. And so you normally gravitate towards the one that needs the most help, which is the baby, right? And so sometimes I feel like you're so good cooking right when you get off work. Me, I'm home all day, but I don't want to cook. Because I'm so, like some people think that you have so much time on your hand, but the reality is that you really don't, because then you take the next kid to college, and then you come home, and then it's already 10 o'clock, and then you have your toddler who's saying mama, and then it's like noon, and then you're like, oh no, now I got to put him to bed, but I got to run the laundry, I got to wash the dishes, I have to clean the room, people's coming over. And so sometimes I wish that I had all this time in my day, and so I do sometimes feel frustrated, not because it feels like a burden, but I feel frustrated because I feel like I can't help everybody the way that I want to. And so like my daughter would be like, why are you always giving Sami all the attention? And so it's like, it's not that I do it on purpose, but he's younger, so he needs more of my attention. And then sometimes Singto gets the last of my attention because it goes from smallest to oldest, right? Because I'm like, okay, right? Versus where Sami, right? And so I wouldn't necessarily say burden, but it can be frustrating, especially when he travels on the weekend. My kids have volleyball, they have basketball, they have youth, they have worship. And so I just find myself driving all around town. And then when it's really cold or snowing, like how it snowed this weekend, I'm just like, man, I kind of wish my husband was home, because, it's like, you pick more worship practice, and you feel like you thought hide all the kids just to go pick up the one. And so it does get frustrating, because I feel like sometimes I do need that extra hand. But at the same time, I also know that we are in a season where and I don't know what the future looks like, and so I always have to encourage myself and say, hey, can I do what my husband does? Like, I really don't want to do what he does, and more travel every weekend, and more go preach and teach, and I don't think I can do what he does, and I don't think he can do what I do. And so I've learned to just raise the flag and just say, okay, I'm gonna go and do what I can do, and I'll make rice, and I'll just text him, hey, get some KFC on the way home, or something. And so I think that helps me.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. When my kids were little and there was only 3 of them, you have what, 5?
4. I do want 5.
Yeah, well, I have 3.
But we're at 4.
I'm telling you, like, come on shopping. I have a car. I have 2 carts. One with the kids and then I have the other cart pushing to get groceries. So I understand what you're saying when you get pulled in.
Yeah, my husband's always like, how come you don't take Sammy to the grocery store? I'm like, no, like when you come home, this is my alone time now. Like this is my time. Like I love my kids, but I think for my sanity, I need to go out there and I need to refresh my mind so that way I could let you coop up all day and then you take your frustration out on your children. So
yeah, thank you. I think it's so important to be as a family, a husband and wife. Yeah, it needs to start from the home, and so when it starts from the home, then it goes out. And thọ bé more what you did it no it permeates. Yeah, you lu valu j no permeate outside. Yeah, and so yalin thọ bé nhau lu valu j bé tu bao chao bé tu zi in the ways that ne to share to bé thọ bé more what you did it no nhau to shan draw in the public eye na je you te bao chao you to zi thế này. Yeah, and so I want you to share one highlight this year. I want you to share. Your husband each have a department at the Hmong District. So kusaka ne share iko highlight from the department. Ne to husband what they did no. How have you contributed or got saga to see dot they did no the and so.
Yeah, so my husband does like media and videos for the district. So this summer, I'm lucky enough that my job, I teach, and so in the summers I get off and I'm able to just fully help with ministry with the district or just with whatever he needs. And most of the time I just get to like see what he does, but also I get to bring him food when he's hungry, or just help him in little ways like that, where whatever he needs he'll just let me know, and I can do that for him because I'm more flexible, where he's more set to a schedule or set to a room, and so I'm more able to just go out and be the hands and feet for him and then bring it back to him. And so I feel like just doing him that and just serving him in that way, again, it just encourages him to know that somebody's there to help him, so that he doesn't feel like he has to do it all on his own. And then also just getting to see from the background, all the work that he does that blesses the people that, are there at the conferences or a part of whatever he's doing. It really does encourage them, all the work that he does, because of, his talents and gifts that God has given him. So.
Yeah, well, Sifun Zolan does, that's my husband for those who doesn't know. Yeah, he does church ministry. So this year I had a chance to travel with him to Alaska, and I wish I had more chance to travel with him, because I thought that, you kind of say, with special needs, so I get to stay home a lot. And I don't get to travel with him as much as I wanted to. This year, during one of his trips, to Alaska, which was a blessing. And they came as a group, and that was an encouragement for me to see that Hmong, especially, it doesn't matter where we are, we were able to put away our differences and to form a church, to come together and form a church, so that a community, and that was especially encouraging to me to see that. And I just wanted to say it was a blessing for me to meet you all up there in Alaska. And
So Jangal was nhớ trong the media ministry and the annual conference in the year how go Hmoob thao no one today no one set up thia tear down thao a ta na ya ye bỏ hạt tiền cứ hẹn tới shima ye li niên hai rồi họ có nhớ tới will be present at no bỏ thì nhớ tới na and then you check on hạt tiền no bỏ tao no mỏ bỏ tao no shulin ta ye chỉ tao no là mu yun thia tao no na ya like no chỉ so chai or the annual conference mà bây giờ bảo Qhia in nu na ya la ja wa video thia wa media in the mala sha hing and so thao wa ta in the la cha ni la sha na ni ha tie ni mama ka ta ka pa ja na la yu chao xie la ja ni sai ka ta ya da ha yu pa ha tie ni yin mu ke na ni yin sha ni yin chi tao ja na bi ha so te yan da ye te ya wa me wa do yu pa ta shi ma kha la ya khai ka pa ha tie wa ba chu ni jong lin da si ta shi ma ba chu ku pu ni mo I kha ke ba chu shi tao la father ba chu kha kingdom na ya ku ha ya ni te ba chu ha ke li mo ku la wa ni tu pan ya ku la chao tao ni ye te ya me jong lin da kha impact wa ni wa tao ba chu kha kingdom ma chu la cha li kha wa yu wa pa do ni na je te ya jong lin da na je yu je chao xie la and I kha me wa yu wa tao na je yu je li wa so kha la kha me la ye ai thao ni ni yu la na je yu tao wa pa do ni bu do ni.
One of my highlights this year is being able to go to Mloog. So being able to attend Mloog with my husband, and I think for myself, my kids and I, we look forward to this event every year because we get to spend a week with my husband and we get to see what he does. We get to see all the behind the scene. And so my role is, I don't have a role when I'm there. Like when he goes, hey, prop the door open, they're bringing in the t-shirts. And I welcome people. And then I, like just being able to have like a small hand in what he does. That's one of my highlights. I really can't do what he does. And so it really takes, I believe it takes a special person to do what he does, to be able to gather people who are willing to serve together to reach the hearts of the young people now. And so for me to see all these young lives change, that hey, like one day my daughter's going to go to these conferences, somebody else will lead and her life will be changed too. But before that, we need somebody to pave the way, Hana. And so to be able to see what my husband does is one of my highlight, like Mloog. And so Salt Regional is not there. We have kids, and so I can't really go, but I was able to go to the one in Kansas, and that one was really nice because then you get to see a different group of people, and these are all young single adults, and you must see, man, I don't think I was that smart when I was young and single and 19, right? And so you see them and you see their heart for Jesus, and you see their passion, the way they worship, the way they have these deep discussion with you. You're kind of like, wow, like this is the fruit of what. Like you get to see the fruit of your husband's ministry. And so to be able to witness all this, that's a blessing and definitely a highlight for me.
Yeah, I think in youth ministry is when you see a lot of, you call, you kind of see the fruits of your labor kind of. It's in youth ministry because we were in youth ministry for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And, Txoj was part of the Mloog team for 10 years too. So I see a lot of that.
Yeah, then you see all the young people whose lives were changed. And like even though like a lot of people don't know me, but they know my son's face, right? Mm-hmm. And so they're always like, oh, are you, Super Singto's wife? Because, he looks just like his dad, right? And so I think for my husband, like that's my highlight, but I know my husband's highlight is when he sees the children come around, like all day so busy, meetings and making sure everything is run smoothly. And then he sees them during playtime, like his face lights up, right? Like he's so excited to just see them. And so I think for me, I'm like, yeah, I think it's a good thing that we're here too, because like even though this is our highlight, I think the children are his highlight, like in a stressful day, Hana.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. Any words of wisdom or words of encouragement just to encourage all women out there that hey, we're all the same. We all can do this together. And out there. So maybe they're in the season where they're like, I can't make it another day. Hey, if she can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah, I just want to say that if you're in a season like me where you have little ones and you feel like you're being pulled in all directions, serving, trying to support your husband, trying to be a mom, a wife, know that God is your strength, that you can't do anything by yourself, that everything that you do must be focused and centered around Jesus, because he is the one that gives you the strength to do what you do. And a lot of people always say, oh, how do you do all that with the baby, with your husband gone? But at the end of the day, it's the Lord. Like God is the one who gives me the strength to continue to do what I do. And so I just want to encourage you to surround yourself with ladies who will pray for you. Find people who will not judge you, that you can just pour your heart to, and have them pray for you. And don't shy away from feeling like you can't serve because you feel inadequate. Because I mean, or at least for myself, I feel like I'm inadequate, but the Lord is the one who uses me and uses my story and my experiences to reach other people.
Yeah, so for those women that no struggle, yeah, like where be chicho no be to see la chicho submit to the authority na je. I just want to encourage that it is doable, because you know, many times you say that you submit or you to see the authority na, yeah, or you weak na, that she did here, because submit or to see authority, it actually mean that you are a strong woman, you are a mature woman. Because you need to put your about that, because submit out you to husband, and so in order for God to submit to husband, mà you submit to what you want there, and you tell submit to your to husband. Though you submit to your husband, là you bỏ cái hạt địa, you tell new relationship na, you trong chắc họ lúc chế là new peaceful được họ cũ, and new you to see more đây nữa là new more share theo cú share với what you đây nữa đua, and so could really encourage bé cho nhiệt chế và Peng chỉ show self key, like you just show no to see lu. You can continue to one yet it's a choice that you have to make every day. Don't go to king, you have to make every single day. Had you submit or you to see na you have a choice that you have to choose every single day. E kun chen de kan na you how what you day share here your part of the ministry come out day.
Yeah, I just want to give an encouragement to make your lady out there, and especially joy make y'all maybe your husband travels, you know, alone a lot. Throughout Elim ministry, you know, over the I think 30 years of ministry, you know, most of the time you travel without go, and a lot of time, you know, you hear people saying things like, you know, something would happen, you know, and sometimes that does scare me a little bit, but most of the time, Josh, I don't want you, you know, I say I want you protect you. Chỉ sau một cái họ lùi trâu cho nữ that would play a hindrance in his ministry là chỉ nhớ chỉ bố của nữ ở tao nữ thế là tên nữ cho văn chúa nó nhớ. So I trust in the Lord for that. I trust that the Lord will protect him, that the Lord will keep him safe, and the Lord will be first in his heart, so that he can be faithful to God and be true to me. Thảo cứ như faithful cho văn chúa ha nữ cha văn chúa cả nữ luôn nên là he will be faithful to me and be true to me, so that you chỉ một cái họ lù trâu cho nữ. So I just want to you know, encourage you ladies, you know, to thảo văn chúa ban cho các tu husband if he is in that situation where he travels a lot without you. You know, Josh, I don't want you, and just really you know, pray for him that want you protect nữ ha, that he will be true to God and you. So that's my encouragement to you.
Yes. Yeah, and I would just, you know, encourage you guys to put God first. I feel like that's the first and foremost important thing, is continuing to serve God and to, you know, stay close to him, so that you can love your husband, so that you can continue to grow your own faith and stay strong in those moments of, you know, doubt or frustration. But also just remember that, you know, no matter what anybody says or sees, you know, God sees the little things that you do, and those little things do matter, you know, like we talked about, those little things that we think that doesn't really matter, like cleaning the house or cooking or, you know, taking care of those things, they make a big impact, and that's the best way we can support our husbands at home too.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for your time. And I pray and I hope that you encourage your sisters out there doing whatever season that they're going through right now. And so, thank you. So here they are. Learn share. They're able to do that because they're, you know, at the Hmong District, and they're all, you know, mostly are pastors' wives, and their spiritual faith is stronger than mine. And but I just want to let you know that, you know, we're just human beings, just like everyone else, and we struggle through things. And đau lúc họ bây giờ chỉ tên mình đã bây lúc này thì trở lên đó là bây giờ đã nói chuyện một đợt chỉ là bây十八十sáu, and I think khó lo bây ở trên này thì nói bây tu hay thì bây là nhau đã cùng mong nó bây we are able to support bây your husband is through prayer. Yeah, cái thảo vật chữ is so essential and so critical. Nhớ được họ bây giờ ít tuổi trẻ bây giờ ba tuổi bây tuổi gì bây which tao giờ đã chỉ là that we can pray for him, pray for his ministry. Họ bây tuổi husband có ministry your success and your những cái nữa chỉ hơn được bây that she it is truly long được họ bây thảo vật chữ và chữ sĩ nữa nên chỉ là tao tới đây tên nữa đó sư. So I would encourage that bây giờ ít tuổi trẻ bây sao có bây tuổi gì nữa tới đây tên nữa là she bây sao có giờ nữa or whatever nữa họ career whatever to succeed. We need to be on our knees and praying for him. I just want to encourage that bây giờ ilang nia là we need to be his biggest cheerleader. Yeah, and but that nia soon trong lan này thứ hai Minji mentioned Minji had there, you know, bây giờ gì nữa tụt gì na he has so much in his plate, and so thằng nữa là we don't need to add any more on his plate, and so we just be his cheerleader. Yeah, nữa tao rong bây cháu nữa bây khoan nữa, yeah nữa họ tuần giờ là bây thảo vật chữ ba nữa so that he can improve, continue to improve. So yeah lên đó tây giờ rồi nói tây giờ bây sát cháu này nhá trong mình nó thảo vật chữ phong công một bút bây cho nên wherever you are in your season of life, we pray that ông mình nó bây share yeah equal encouragement cho nên. Thank you for joining us, and ladies again thank you for joining us tonight for the conversations. And thảo vật chữ phong công một bút cho nên bây mà xin gì lời chào.
HKM TV